what is going on? This is Airplane Mode, and we will be doing another full flight today. Today we'll be flying in the IXEG 737-300 Classic as Alaska Airlines Flight 717 with service from Salt Lake City all the way up to Seattle. As always, the plane has been started up and the FMC has been programmed, so with that we can run through all of our other checklists and be on our way. Welcome aboard Alaska Airlines Flight 717 with non-stop service up to Seattle. The approximate flight time for today's flight is about 2 hours and 20 minutes. However, I think we can chop some of that time off with 126 passengers on board and a cruising altitude of 32,000 feet. This cruising altitude might have to be lowered, as in the past there have been times where this plane could not make it as high as I wanted it to without losing a significant amount of airspeed. If that does end up happening, I will just go ahead and level the plane off at its next 1,000 feet. With all that being said, we can hop over to our FMC and check that out. Alright guys, so obviously as you can see, our origin airport is Salt Lake City, Kilo Sierra Lima Charlie, and our destination airport is Seattle, Kilo Sierra Echo Alpha, and obviously we are just flying as Alpha Sierra Alpha Flight 717, so Alaska Airlines Flight 717. Moving here to our departure and arrival index, you can see that we are departing off of runway 35, and we are departing with the TWF3 departure, and there is no transition for that. Moving to our arrival section over here, you can see that we are arriving with the Chins 1 arrival, and there is the PDX transition, and we are arriving on runway 34 right, and we are doing ILS for that guy with the glide slope on as always. With that, we can move on to our legs page, and obviously you see here that we have our cruising altitude of 32,000 feet. Once again, as I said, if we need to chop that down, we will, but it's fine for now, and we will see how that goes later on. With that, the FMC has been reviewed, and we are set to complete some of our other before start checklists. Alright guys, so to start things off, we are going to go ahead and turn on our yaw damper, because that is very important. We're going to turn on all of the rest of our fuel pumps. We're going to turn on our emergency lights, or at least arm those guys. We're going to turn our window heaters on, and we're going to make sure that our pilot static heat is off, which it is, so that all looks good. And we're going to go ahead and turn on our electric hydraulic pumps. With all that being done, we can go ahead and clear our ground handling. So as we always do, the shortcut, release parking brake, and get rid of all of those guys. Should be clearing them. Yep, and our jetway, as you can see, is moving away from our jet. Alright guys, so with all of that, the plane is pretty much ready to go. One more thing that we do have to do is set this guy right here, so we can move down here, and we can move to our menu quick, FMC, and index, takeoff, and we're going to go ahead and set our V speeds here. So you can set V1 135, so we can find 135 knots. That looks good right there. Our VR for today is 137 knots, so we can move that just right next to that guy. And our V2 speed is 145 knots, so we can move this one right here and set 145. We'll just leave it right there. Not very particular when it comes to that kind of thing. Also at this time, we can go ahead and set our altimeter, so we can just zoom in here with the map. Right here, details, and 3018, so we can set 3018 right here, 3018, and with that guys, we are pretty much set to get going. So we can turn off our packs, anti-collision lights can come on, and that is it. So we can call for our pushback. I did pre-program it, as I most likely do most of the time, so we can start pushback.
Ground to cockpit, tow is driving up.
Alright, so you heard him, he is driving up, and I will alert you guys when we are ready to push back. Alright guys, so we are going to release our parking brake. He is fully connected, and we are going to start our pushback, so hit the B, which is my hotkey for releasing the parking brake. Alright, let's try that again, right there.
Starting pushback,
alright,
and you may start engines.
As you can hear, we have been cleared to start our engines, so he's going to start pushing us back. And we'll just go ahead and once again start our engines just right here by the ramp. We'll go ahead and start engine 1 today just to kind of vary things up, so we can set engine 1 to the ground position, and this time wait for engine 1 to reach 25%. Alright guys, as you can see, we are very close to 25%, so we can come back here, and right now we can start introducing the fuel right there. Our engine's going to start up, and we'll just wait for that guy. Alright guys, now that engine 1 has started up, we can go ahead and start our engine 2, so we can set engine 2 to the ground position and once again wait for engine 2 to reach 25%. Alright guys, there's 25%. We can go ahead and introduce fuel to engine 2 and wait for engine 2 to start up. Alright guys, engine 2 has just started up and we have 2 very successful starts, so we can go ahead and start our after start checklist. We can turn on both of our engine generators just like so. We can turn our pilot static heat switches on. Our packs can come back here. We can test our flight controls, so we can go full back, looks good, full forward, full left, and full right. And for our rudders, we can go full right and rudders full left. Everything there looks good, nothing to worry about there. So we can go ahead now, shut our APU bleed off, and we can shut our APU to its off position. With that, we can turn our flight ground switch to the flight position. Our wing anti-ice not required. None of our anti-ices are
Tow
required
is
for today's
disconnected
flight.
and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal will be on the right. We'll see you next time and have a great flight.
Alright, thank you dude, we will, and we can continue setting these guys. So you can set these guys to continuous, that all looks good there. We can set our flaps, so we can go and set flaps 5, which is for today's flight, so we can go and we're going to go ahead, set flaps 5, wait for this guy to give us our hand signals, and then continue on with our checklist. Alright, there is his hand signals. We can go ahead and continue on with our checklist. We can turn our terrain on. Where is it? Alright guys, I'll just take it for granted that we are running it on. I'll turn our weather on, and with that we can go ahead, set our auto brake to RTO. Runway turn-off lights and taxi lights can come on, like so. We can release our parking brake and taxi to runway 35. Alright guys, I figured out what I was doing wrong. There we go. And now we can turn on our terrain. I just needed to turn on the WX switch or weather switch. We can go ahead and perform a little brakes test here, so we can tap our brakes. They all look fine. And with that, just continue our taxi to runway 35. Alright guys, we are approaching runway 35, so we can go ahead and start thinking about slowing down here a little bit. Alright, a little bit strange for the stopping, but nonetheless, alright, I'm just going to keep hold of my toe brake so we do not have to set and release our parking brake. Anyway, for before takeoff, we can go ahead and turn on all of our landing lights. Runway turn-off lights and taxi lights can all come off at this time, and we can confirm that we have flaps 5 set, which we do. With that, we can release our toe brakes and taxi on to runway 35. Alright, we can make sure that we are clear from the left. Don't see any traffic, and we are clear from the right. From what I can see, it all looks good. So we can taxi on to the runway. Alright, we can come to a stop. Idle our thrust. Alright, we can go ahead, stabilize our engine, start our timer here. There's, right here, there's 50. And we can go N1. And our autopilot is going to go ahead and take control of our speed. Try to stay lined up here. Airspeed is alive. Alright, 80 knots. 100. We're looking for 137 knots, remember, for our rotation speed. Forward pressure. Alright, B1, rotate. It is a little bit gusty, not gonna lie, it's a little bit hard to stay lined up here, but alright, we are up. Just try to hold it at 10-15 degrees here. Put our gear up. Alright, we are out of Salt Lake City. Alright, we're not really gaining altitude. It's not good. Alright, we're going to go ahead and arm our speed here. And we'll go ahead and increase this to 210 knots. Right there. We can put all of our flaps up. VNav, LNav, auto brakes can go off, gear can go off, autopilot can come on. And with that, so far, everything is looking good. Alright, everything is looking good for our departure. So I call that, for sure, a successful departure out of Salt Lake City. Alright guys, as you can see, we are just barely crossing through 10,000 feet. We're not going to go much higher than that because, as you can see down here at our FMC, our VNav is taking control and we have another about 4.5 miles left until we will continue our climb. In the meantime, however, I'm going to go ahead and shut off all of my landing lights, set my engine start switches to their off position, and I'm going to go ahead and shut my fasten seatbelt signs off. And with that, I will see you guys when we reach 18,000 feet. Alright guys, as you can see on our altitude gauge right here, we have just crossed through 18,000 feet, so I'm going to go ahead and set my standard altimeter of 29992. And with that, we are still continuing to climb. However, I will see you guys when we are preparing to descend. Alright guys, so unfortunately our VNav has screwed us, so I'm just going to go ahead and use vertical speed for this descent today. So I'm just going to go down at about 1,000 feet per minute because actually we'll go 1,500 because at the moment there is absolutely no hurry to get to our altitude restriction, as we do still have approximately 21 nautical miles left. Also, one more thing I did forget to do is turn on my runway turn-off lights, so we can turn those guys on and just continue descending. Alright guys, we are approaching the end of this waypoint, so I'm going to go ahead and start setting up for the next altitude restriction. So I'm going to go ahead and lower my altitude to 20,400 feet right here. We're going to go 20,400 feet. And I'm going to give VNav another chance. If it doesn't do anything right now, then I'll just screw it and go back to my vertical speed. Just start descending. And we are, so VNav worked on us, thank goodness. I'm just going to let VNav bring our speed down and continue letting the plane descend, and I will see you guys when we reach our next altitude restriction. Alright guys, we are approaching the end of this altitude restriction and pretty much the end of this waypoint, so I'm going to go ahead and start setting up for my next altitude restriction. So I'm going to set 12,000 feet right here, just so that when we reach the end of this altitude restriction, our VNav will go ahead and take over and let our plane descend. So I will see you guys when we start descending to 12,000 feet. And as you guys can see, we are passing through 20,400 feet and descending to 12,000 feet. So I will see you guys when we reach 18,000 feet, where we will go ahead and set Seattle's altimeter. Alright guys, now that we are pretty much crossing through 18,000 feet, I'm going to go ahead and set Seattle's altimeter of 3041. So we can go ahead and set 30 here and 41, like that. And just continue our descent to 12,000 feet. Alright guys, so as you can see here on the display, we'll have only about 11 nautical miles left for this waypoint. So So I'm going to go ahead and start preparing for my next altitude restriction descent. So I'm going to go ahead and set 7,400 feet right here for the VNAV. And I will see you guys when we start our descent. And as you guys can see, we are starting our descent to 7,400 feet. So I will see you guys when we reach 10,000 feet. Alright guys, now that we have crossed through 10,000 feet, I'm going to go ahead and turn on my landing lights. So you can just go ahead and flip. Actually, we'll just go this way. I'm going to turn on all my landing lights, and I am going to go ahead and set up for my approach ref. So I'm going to go to my menu, FMC, index, and approach right here. Our gross weight has been already set. And once again, I was doing most commonly do, I'm going to use flaps 40 for my landing today. So we're going to copy this and put that right there. Obviously, as it always is, +5 for our wind correction will leave us with a VREF of 137 knots. With that, we can move back to our legs page here and prepare for our next altitude restriction. So I'm just going to go ahead and set this guy to 4,100 feet and just let the VNAV do the rest. I will see you guys when we reach 4,100 feet. And guys, I am going to be setting up for my next altitude restriction, so I'm just going to go ahead and set 2,200 feet right here, and that should do it for our descent. Also at this time, I'm going to go ahead and drop my landing gear. I'm going to arm my speed brakes, and I am going to be setting flaps to 2. Alright guys, right now I am going to be setting my auto brakes to 1, and I will be setting my flaps to 10, and I'm just going to let the plane descend. Also at this time, I'm going to be setting Seattle's runway 34 right heading, so that would be 344 degrees, so we can set 344 right there. We are coming in on our final approach. As you can see, the airport is just right back there. I have decided to turn on the ILS. I don't know if I'll be needing it. If I do, it's just ready to go, but I don't think I will because it seems to be relatively good visibility. So I'll just see you guys once we are closer to the airport. Alright guys, right now I am going to go ahead and set my flaps to flaps 25. And as you can see here, I did lower my speed to 150 knots because my VNAV once again decided to quit on us. We are basically on final approach and we are perfectly on the glide slope. I'm going to go ahead and turn on my approach because why not? And we should be in the threshold by now. If not, then yeah, we are. So I'm just going to leave it like that for now. Hopefully our glide slope catches on in a minute. Yeah, so we are too high. I'm just going to go ahead and pitch the nose down a little bit just so that our glide slope can pitch on, just so we have a little bit more hands-free flying. Just going to lower the nose here. And once glide slope catches on, I'm just going to continue preparing for a smooth touchdown. We'll be turning on here any second. We are approaching the line right there. Alright, of course, right when we need it the most, our glide slope decides not to turn on. Perfect. So I'm just going to continue letting them, I'm just going to, put it on altitude hold right here. And actually we'll turn it off because my glide slope should be turning on. I don't know why it's not. Alright, I'm going to be setting flaps 30 right now. And if my glide slope doesn't turn on, then I'll just go ahead and turn off the autopilot. Yeah. So I'm just going to go ahead and disengage the autopilot as well as the auto throttle and try to aim for, I think it was 137 knots for our VREF. We are a little bit high and we do not want that, so I'm just going to kind of pitch the nose down a little bit here. Reduce my speed. Alright, we're getting back on the glide slope. Everything is looking good. I'm going to go ahead and set flaps 40, my final setting of flaps. I'm just going to try to maintain our VREF here. Look up a little bit so we have a little bit of a bigger view. Alright, we are on the glide slope. Everything is looking okay for our landing. Can try to line up a little bit more here. Alright, gear are down, flaps are set, speed brakes are armed, auto brakes are set. Everything should be good.
300. Minimum.
Landing. Uh-oh, we are way too slow
100.
here. That's not good. Don't want to accelerate too much though, or else we will end up floating.
50. 40. 30.
Alright, retard.
20. 10.
Alright, hold the nose up, flare. And we are down. Welcome to Seattle, reverse thrust out. Decel. brakes should be down. Don't know why they're not. Alright, there's 70. Reverse thrust can come in. Manual braking. Alright guys, welcome to Seattle. We can go ahead and release our brakes. Speed brakes can come up and we can perform our after landing checklist. So we can put all of our flaps up. Should be coming up here. Yep, there we go. Flaps up. We can put our auto brake to off. Pilot static heat can come off. We can turn our APU on. Alright, there we go. Engine start switches can come off. Let's see what else. Alright, so we can turn our landing lights off. And our taxi lights can come on. We'll park over here by these Alaskas at that gate. Just continue taxiing, performing our checklist. Flight ground switch can go to ground so we can open the doors, which is not modeled unfortunately, so that will not happen, but that's how it would be in real life. We can turn our APU generators on, just so we can shut down our engines right when we get to the gate. And we can turn our strobe light off. And with that, guys, welcome to Seattle. Alright guys, we'll just take this gate right here next to this Alaska. And I think this is a 737-300, but I can't tell you for sure, even though I did place those planes there myself. Alright, he's vectoring us in. I just slowed down a little bit. We'll probably end up running over that pushback truck, but whatever. Alright, and stop. Alright, perfect. We can set our parking brake, kill our engines. Seatbelt signs can come off. Alright guys, anti-collision light can come off at this time. Fuel pumps can all come off. Obviously our center fuel pumps are already off. And we want to leave this guy on for our APU. Galley power can come off. Window heaters can all come off at this time. Like so. Pilot static heat is already off. We can turn our electric hydraulic pumps. Oh, those are our engines. Alright, so we can turn electric hydraulic pumps off. Packs can come off. APU bleed can come on. APU generator. Alright, we can just go ahead and turn these guys off. And we'll go ahead and pull up some ground power because we do not want that alarm. Alright, ground power is on and running. APU can come to an off position. ILSs can come off. Sorry, IRSs can come off. Yaw damper is already off. All that looks good. We can turn this fuel pump off. Ground power can come off. Standby power off. And battery can come off just like that, and that is the plane shut down. And with that, the video is going to come to an end. I do want to thank you all very much for watching. As always, I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please don't hesitate to drop a like and subscribe if you're not already, and let me know what your feedback is in the comment section below. The total flight time for today's flight was 1 hour and 50 minutes, which brings us in approximately 30 minutes early. Once again, guys, thank you all very much for watching the video, and I will see you all later. By the way, this was the last video for our spring break special, and I really hope you all enjoyed it. Once again, I worked very hard to make this all possible, and I hope it all paid off in the end. My next video should be posted next Saturday if all goes well, but until then, see ya.